Hi, everyone. This is Jessica with Whispers of Grace Healing. I am here today to do a weekly reading of the energy that we might possibly come across this week. I'm going to be completely honest with everyone, kind of struggling today, okay? The energy I've noticed has been really up and down lately. So, like, where I see a lot of my collective soul family going through deep shadow work, there's a lot of us holding that space for them. And as they're coming up, we're coming down, and it's like this intertwined connection between us and our soul family. Like, honestly, the last few days, I've even been questioning, like, so much, is this mine? Is this my energy? Hey, Brooke. But I've been noticing that, like, especially with me doing private readings and doing these energy readings, hey, Heather, that I'm already picking up on behavior of the person that I'm reading for or connecting with way before I even realize that it's theirs. And I have to end up telling my clients, like, this is what I've been experiencing. Is this something that you've been doing? And I'll end up picking it up a day or two before the reading even comes along. So, hey, Christina. But it's one of those things where, so much of the energy does not even feel like me. So some of you who are going through like a deep emotional purges, and that's the funny thing too, because a lot of what, like, I was doing energy work on my friend back in Charleston, and as I was doing the Reiki, like, all these things personal to me started popping up. Hey, Debbie. And it was like I was reliving certain moments that I didn't feel like I had an emotional attachment to, but it was coming up and making me emotional. Like, well, why is this even here? Like, go away. And I was thinking that it was my mind, my egoic mind stepping in and trying to distract me. But in reality, it was linking me up to certain things that she needed to be aware of process, right? So it's coming out and things like that. So I've been noticing a lot of confusion on a personal level when it comes to what is actually mine to process. What am I picking up that's just in relation to people that I'm working with? I'm picking up on our tribe all the time. And personally, like, it's just exhausting. I mean, I feel like I'm picking up on physical symptoms for my mom, emotional symptoms for my dad. And it's just like, there's all this really heavy energy in the air. And I know some people have already come out of that. So I'm hoping that this is just, the other ones that were kind of holding the space for the ones who have already gone through this dip, that, now it's just our turn to go through the dip, and the other ones are holding the space for us, right? Like Brooke. Brooke just went through a major purge and major shadow work, and so much of our tribe was there to hold that space for her. And now that she's out of that slump, I feel like some of the people that were holding that space for her are now coming into their dip. So just keep that in mind too, because it not only is it exhausting, it's very confusing. Another thing that I've been noticing, especially when just trying to sit still, right? Normally I don't have a problem sitting still or, tuning in, meditating. I've never really had a problem after I learned how to quiet my mind. But once I've been active in this practice, I don't normally have a problem with it anymore, but it's like my mind's having a hard time shutting off. So it's kind of bouncing from this person to this person and this person. And I mean, I had to tell myself today, like, none of that is mine. None of it. Like, it's not even in my existence. It's just things that my people are going through. And it's unfortunate that my people are going through this, but I had to remember it's not mine to carry, right? So I have to emotionally detach myself from some of these things. And I didn't even want to get on and do a video because I'm just like struggling to even find, the flow, the inspiration to get on here and do this. And I kind of had to force myself to do it. And hopefully that once I get these messages out, then it will kind of just, slide by, ease up a little, because there's a lot of pressure, especially on my back. It feels like a lot of weight is being carried by the collective. And, especially with a lot of the conversations that I've been having since some of my most recent posts, especially about the 7 deadly sins and stuff like that. I was talking to Kara about it, and she brought up a good point. She was like, well, do you think this is part of the shadow work? And it absolutely is. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to retreat my statement of that, like, the whole spiritual warfare and stuff like that, which I'm not going to talk about today. But just to be clear, I am not taking that back. I still believe that that exists, but those are my belief systems. Okay. You do not have to accept that as your own. But with that being said, I also came to the conclusion that source energy is trying to get us to be aware of what patterns, habits, and belief systems are still in alignment with the 7 deadly sins, right? Where are we out of alignment? So all these things are coming forward. We're being triggered. We're feeling really slumpy. Maybe our diets need to change. Maybe our exercise regimens need to change. Maybe our emotional regimen needs to change. So there's so many things that need to be addressed, be held accountable for, and owning our own decisions, right? So really big decisions are being made. And it's one of those things. I was having a conversation this morning about having 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You're not fully dedicated to something when you're already in retreat mode, just in case. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we do have to make hard decisions for ourselves, especially when it comes to change, which change is never comfortable for anybody. But when things are changing so rapidly and so, it's exuberant. It's like in your face, big changes, like big things are happening. And it's really pushing us out of our comfort zone when it comes to the necessary things that we need to change in order to move more into alignment, right? So things that we may have been stalling on, things that we maybe have been neglecting to face, these kind of things. These things are coming back full circle, and like literally the birthing pains, the contractions are just pushing you out and forcing this pressure in order to create the combustion. It's like the diamond, right? You have to pressurize it and turn it into something beautiful. That's kind of the process that is happening right now, right? We're in the metamorphosis stage. So all this pressure is definitely putting pressure on our old belief systems and the old patterns that we have created or accepted as our own. But I feel like one of the big things that we do have to remember is, first, listen to your heart. Okay. Listen to your heart, make the wisest decision, not only for the highest good of all, but for yourself, most importantly, that you trust and honor your decisions and make decisions that you can stand by, and just try to live your best life, guys. Like, it's one of those things where, and this was another thing that came up in conversation, we stick around or we enable situations in order to stay away from conflict, but yet we're keeping ourselves in conflict because we're not speaking up our truth, we're not making the necessary decisions, we're not setting our boundaries. And so it creates a lot of resistance in us and then projects onto everything around us. So these things are coming up for the collective to process and to transmute. And I feel like even though I'm not like physically active with my tribe as much as I usually am right now, my spirit, my soul is like so hard at work transmuting this, because any quiet time where I'm just trying to rest or catch up on sleep, it's like all of you are there every single one of you. I start thinking about so many of our tribe members or people from my past. And it's like all these memories and all these people I start tapping into. And then I start feeling physical symptoms, mental symptoms, and it's just, it's exhausting in a sense that my body, my physical body isn't getting a lot of rest. So that's why I'm not so active on YouTube right now, because I really need to take this time, like I said last week, to reset. And I'm still resetting from that initial huge trigger when I realized what the fuck was going on, right? So yeah, it's wild, Brooke. I mean, and I can't stop it until I wake up or just like pass out, fall asleep, right? It's there until it's not. And I've noticed too, like there's just a lot of wanting to kind of distract myself, either wanting to go on a drive or do things to prepare our move. But listen, even with that, I'm not talking a lot about it. And I guess it was because I didn't want to, have a lot of people worry or, make it seem like my life is shit, because it's not. But we're still in a rental, guys. We've been here almost 2 months and still haven't been able to stay on our own property yet. We finally got the camper up there, thank the Lord, but not without it almost tipping into the river. So even when there's these moments where you get so close to that, oh no matter how much you try to stay emotionally unattached to it, there's still these moments where you're getting so close to like, just fuck it, right? I mean, I got angry with spirit when the camper started tipping over the edge. The road just gave way under it, and it's leaning like this off the side of the mountain. And it was really scary. And I got angry and I was like, listen, I don't know what y'all want from me, because I feel like I'm doing everything I can to stay positive and optimistic about this transition, but y'all better come through with a fucking miracle, because I can't do it anymore. Like, no matter what we do, there's a hiccup right around the corner. So I did. I got angry and I told them, like, come through with the damn miracle, because I can't take anymore. Can't take anymore. And just like nothing ever happened, it's up on the fucking hill. Tow crew came, they pulled it out, they got it up there, everything's fine except for some minor damage. So now it's plumbing, now it's the furnace, but either way, it's up on the hill. So even if, right, it might be traumatic getting through the process, or you might even be running so low on funds you're wondering if you're going to have anywhere to live in a week. Like, we're so close to being like truly homeless and possibly sleeping in the cold, but it is what it is. At least we've got electricity over there. We'll have to deal with space heaters, might have to shit in a bucket, who knows. But it's a part of the process, you know what I'm saying? So regardless of how many hiccups, I'm committed to this journey, right? I knew I was led to this property for a reason. I know that once we get stable there, that it's going to be perfect for us and everyone's going to feel so much better just being settled. But being in limbo for this long and not knowing what's happening it's scary, guys. So it's one of those moments where you really got to ask yourself, how committed are you to your decision? Because listen, there is no going back for us. So you have to keep moving forward and just do what is necessary that you can possibly do in the situation without getting all fucking turmoil and emotionally involved and because that's not going to help anything. It's like, okay, well, these are options. Let's pick one, make a decision, move forward, because there's always, where there's a will, there's a way, right? So yeah, guys, it is. Yes. And Heather, I completely agree with you. I think the universe is testing everyone's dedication to their dreams right now. And it's like, And that's another confirmation. My friend sent me a little meme that says, you know, spirit is testing you of how bad you wanted what you asked for. Right. So it's one of those things. Hey, Xavier, but it is. It's like, how bad do we want this change for ourselves when we know that this is what we've always wanted, this is what we've been asking for, and yet we get it, and then we're like, I don't know what to do with my hands. So just understand that, lethargy, confusion, let's see, bouts of emotional, restlessness, sleepless nights, just a lack of sleep or feeling energized in general, lack of motivation and creativity, inspiration. There's a lot of downtime right now. So like, just listen to your body. Yes, miss you too, Xavier. Listen to your body, right? Like, if you need the rest, rest it up, because, this is one of those big moments, especially with the amount of stuff that has been coming through for the length of time that it's been coming through. This just tells me, because I haven't been through a purge like this, and I don't even know. I don't know if I've ever been through a purge quite like this. And I've been through some rough ones, but this is more consistent and drawn out than I ever remember in my ascension journey. So, that just tells me that there's this huge shift that's about to open up for us. And the fact that we're all doing our work and that we're digging in deeper, we're making the right choices, and we're just doing the best of our capability, I know that we're going to see this turnaround really soon, and hopefully sooner than later. But we just got to get through it, because there's nothing else that we can do, right? We just got to keep pushing forward. We got to keep that strength. We got to keep our faith and understand that, we're all in this together. And the way that I was seeing it when I was like seeing the highs and lows of our tribe, it's like, is that really how connected we all are? Because we talk about this in the community about us being one, right? Is it so much connected that we're literally connected down to a DNA level, because it looked like a DNA strand, the way that I was seeing the highs and the lows. So just remember that when your brothers and sisters are suffering, and they are holding that space, and then you dip, and then they're holding that space for you, be like, that's that true love, companionship, where that you have that support system. And it's nice to remember that, even if you don't call on them, it's nice to know that you have that energetic support, right? So yeah, it is. It's very heavy energy and so many obstacles. Hey, Jenny. But yeah, guys, Spirit hasn't brought us this far to crash and burn. And it's so true, Michelle. But and that's another thing, like, as close as I have gotten to those oh no moments, like true fucking panic, right? I always have to remind myself that no matter what, Spirit has always come through. Even when I think that it can't possibly get any lower, it always has a way of coming back up. And that's what I have to remind myself. This is never the end. This is just a phase, right? It might be the end of a chapter, but it's not the end of the story. So it's like, just remembering that no matter what crashes and burns, what crumbles to the ground, whatever has to leave my life, I know it's for the highest good. Whatever challenges arise, I know I have what it takes to overcome them, even if it's uncomfortable, right? So just remember that we love you. You are not alone in this. I don't know how many times I have to say that lately, but I feel like I've been saying it for a few months now. Like, you are not alone. Okay. And we love you. You are so supported, and you are encouraged to keep moving forward. And it's going to be okay, guys. It's going to be okay. So what I want to focus on today is kind of like overall lessons, because I've noticed that a lot within relationships, no matter what kind of relationship that is, things are coming up. things need to be addressed. I want to see what our lessons are there. I also want to see kind of what's going on with the collective and what is our lesson there, because I feel like a lot of us need to come back to the overall picture, right? So where do we want to start, guys? Okay, we're going to start with the Messenger Oracle. So let's start with the collective first. Let's get some Oracle on this. And I will tell you, just because this did come up earlier today too, when I was at my friend's house back in Charleston, one of my cards got left behind, and it totally resonated with her like days later, once we started talking about everything. But let your emotions flow, guys. Honor your emotions. Whether you were angry, whether you were upset, whether you were frustrated, whether you're just pure fucking elated, okay? Honor those emotions, right? Like, we shouldn't be stuffing down anything because we're scared of how someone's going to receive it. We have to honor ourselves in every emotion that comes through. Just saying. So respect your boundaries, hear the ancient ones, and see the signs. So, this could be a good sign of what, and again, everywhere, guys, in every aspect of our life, so many of us are moving out of a fear-based reality, right? I was having that conversation again this morning. Like, I can't even remember, like, I know it was there. I know that I used to be like so freaking fear-based that my whole life was filled with fear. I was scared of everything. I was scared of myself. I was scared of my partners. I was scared of all my relationships. I was scared of money. I was scared of everything. And I don't even really know when that turned off. But also about setting boundaries, right? So again, and I've been called out on this before too, boundaries aren't for them, it's for us, right? It's to make sure that we have our boundaries. What is to be crossed and what is not to be crossed. And if it's not in alignment with love, support, encouragement, and all that good that we so deserve, then why is it a contributing factor in your life, right? So especially when it's not just something that's a phase, like say your loved one gets triggered and they kind of lash out at you. Okay, momentary lapse of judgment. But if it is a consistent thing that even when you speak up, or no matter what you say, that they're still pushing you for guilt and shame you and all these things, what's the point, right? So it's about honoring ourselves, honoring what we deserve, right? And allowing people to live out their storyline and let us live out ours, right? We are not in control of how they show up in our lives. Now, if they choose to show up in our lives that's in accordance with what we feel we deserve, then great. But if not, then let them go about their business, right? You might meet up later. You might not. And that's okay. Art of non-attachment. But it's about knowing where you stand in your own storyline, right? And Spirit is giving you the wisdom and the courage to set the proper boundaries and to speak up for yourself to help nurture your growth. Because if you stay around things that are sucking the life out of you and, pushing you down and all these things, that you're giving your power away, it's time for you to take that power back and to see things from a fresh perspective, right? Hey, Kelly. Hey, Ellie. So yeah, but there are signs everywhere. You see the signs. That is the power of being present and aware of your surroundings. So when you start paying attention and you ask, what's the next step? What do I do now? Then all of a sudden the signs are going to start popping up for you. Okay. Yes, Brooke. We are not in control of how someone shows up, but we do get to choose how we feel about that person. Amen, sister. So, but this is really about the new life that you're creating. So many of us are needing to set the proper boundaries and listen to our inner wisdom so that we can weave the web of our tomorrows. right? Like everything that's connected and showing you the way and the direction you need to move, that's all a part of your dreams, all the things that you want to create as reality in your life is being shown to you. But it's like the breadcrumbs, right? We have such a hard time trying to decipher spirit's messages, but what they're saying, the answer's already inside of you. You already know. You just end up questioning it, right? So what's the best way? Sharing your thoughts, right? Whether that's just talking out loud, writing in your journal, calling on your friend, explain your fear, right? Like sometimes by explaining your fear to someone that you feel is a confidant can help you work it out yourself, not necessarily taking on someone else's opinion of what's the right direction for you, but being able to express yourself without feeling guilty for feeling those fears or feeling that guilt or shame associated with the decisions you're making. So, you have a lot of messages that have been coming through about the direction that you need to move in and the boundaries that need to be respected, not only for them, but for you. So this is also, again, about following your heart, trusting in the magic, knowing that there are beings that are guiding you and trying to get you to trust your emotions, right? When we know that we're feeling frustrated or, we're feeling like we're crawling out of our skin and we're not really sure why our emotions are so haywire, it's telling us something's out of alignment. So it's about embracing those moments of when we feel that we are leaning more towards darkness, when we're leaning more towards anxiety or depression or confusion or judgment or ridicule, whatever it may be. When we start leaning into that darkness, all of that is giving us an opportunity to realize what needs to be let go of. Right? It's not necessarily good or bad. It's just not in alignment. So it's showing us what needs to change. And by listening and processing your emotions and sharing your thoughts, you're going to know exactly what you need to do. It's just about trusting it, right? And making the necessary decision possible. So let's get some advice on this. I'm not even going to pull any tarot because I feel like that's pretty damn spot on. Okay. All right. Mary of Nazareth, the Mother of God. I am blessed. My courage gives birth to the divine. Okay. So 5 and the number 5. Listen, you know me. I'll say all damn day. Number 5 is a sign of significant change that's to come. But with that being said, 5 it can be an excruciating number, okay? Because you are literally at the halfway point. So everything that you've been through up until now is all the real hard stuff, right? It's going through the muck of everything that has been holding you back in order to kind of clear the slate for the foundation that you're about to build for your future. So let's see what Mary has to say. I've always imagined that Mary was terrified to hear an angel loudly announcing that she was meant to be the Mother of God. Her surrender to Gabriel's words feels so courageous and too unacknowledged. Mary has no idea that she will have to meet with what will be asked of her, or what this love for her son will put her through. But she says yes nonetheless, and that she can be in service of the divine. Mary's acceptance of her role has been in the shadow of the Christian story, uncelebrated because she is seen as so divine. She was human too. She could have said no. Her courage could have faltered, but she aligned with the light. She heard Gabriel's words, "Be not afraid," and allowed the divine story to work through her life. And she let joy dictate her response. Mary leads us to trust that we can say yes to what feels light It doesn't have to make sense or work with the timeline the ego has mapped out for us. In the midst of our ordinary everyday lives, we can say yes to the angel who greets us in the space of our heart and let the energy of joy give birth to the divine through us. So a good question to ask is, am I in service to the light within me? Right? So this is a really good opportunity that, like, listen, of course it can be scary. Yes, it wouldn't even be, like they said, you're human, right? Your faith can falter, but they're asking you, like, if you are in true alignment with what you know you need to do and what you're being called to do, say yes. When the divinity comes knocking on your door, don't let fear be the one thing that holds you back, right? Because there can be a lot of what ifs, guys. But the one thing that I said today is, why not? Right? There's so many reasons why we shouldn't or we couldn't or whatever the case may be. But why not? What is to say that we shouldn't do this or we should or whatever the case may be? When you know you're meant to and you're being called to, just say yes. Just say yes. So let's move on to relationships. Okay. So, and again, it's like, do what brings you joy. If it's causing a bunch of chaos and destruction in your life, why are you keeping it around? Right? If you're meeting resistance after resistance after resistance, how is it benefiting your life? So follow your emotions. Okay. What if we came to North Carolina? Yeah. Well, you're welcome to come to North Carolina. I just don't have anywhere to put you up yet. Yeah. Now we're on relationships. All right. So let's see. What does the collective need to know about the changes and purges that are coming up around relationships, please? Do what, Xavier? My family and you want to go? Dewey and I made it official. All right now. Okay. Okay. So we have past life relationship, keep an open mind, stay optimistic about your love life. This could be the one. Children, healing family issues, and let your friends help you. So with that being said, we have embrace spirit, love that you are different, and nourish the soul so far. So whether this be a romantic relationship or not, okay? Oh, damn, Ellie. All right. Well, enjoy the journey, my friend. Let me know if you head this way. Okay. So we also have let two become one. So what this is telling me is that there is someone that is currently in your life, Okay. Now, this can be a friend, this can be a family member, this can be a romantic partner. So please take however this resonates. But what I am seeing is that there is someone that you have been like, this is someone that you really connect with, right? This is someone that you have spent past lives with. This is someone that you have this soul recognition with, okay? So this could be someone that you connect with on a deeper level than most. But you know, they want you to keep an open mind. Okay. Stay optimistic about this connection, because I feel this this connection that you're currently involved in is actually someone that is going to help you. And this is someone that is meant to bring up certain things within your life that has to do with your inner child and healing family issues. Okay. So, this person is definitely going to help you either realize where the scared inner child is coming from, or where the childlike sense of wonder needs to come back. But there's also healing family issues that, you know, could be portrayed or projected from one person into the other about this connection, right? So keep optimistic and stay open-minded about this connection, because either way, I feel like this is a very important connection and a very big piece of your puzzle, right? This could also be a friend, but this is telling you that no matter what this connection is, this person is, regardless of the circumstances or the storyline, this person is here to help you. Okay. You are here to help them. Now, with that being said, it's about getting to the root of the issue so that you can love that you are different and celebrate your authenticity, right? It also helps you understand just how connected you are to spirit and how connected you are to other people's emotions, especially my empaths out there. Now, with that being said, I feel like you've already received a lot of information and a lot of signs about this connection. And, you know, there could be a lot of triggering happen as well. But in the grand scheme of things, this is help, like nourishment for the soul. Okay. It's about integrating your inner child and your higher self into your present reality. And it's all integrating your masculine and feminine qualities, being able to know when to be compassionate, loving, understanding, intuitive, but also having confidence and courageousness and taking action and making the hard decisions and plowing through. Like, so it's all of these coming into one. Okay. And that's a nice confirmation for the conversation I was having earlier today, too. But this is really about finding that magic again. And there's this piece of the puzzle that needs to be kind of reconfigured so that you can allow this merge to happen. Okay. So, what's the big lesson here? I'm surprised I'm not pulling any tarot today. It's just all oracle. All right. So what's the lesson here? Good. Yeah, it's not easy, guys. It is not easy. Not at all. But this is a huge transformation that's taking place. And, you know, it's about loving every inch of yourself. Whether you consider it to be, you know, flawed or whatever the case is, you know, whether you think you're too much or not enough or whatever the case may be, whatever storyline you're telling yourself. But this is about having compassion. Okay. We got Kuan Yin stepping up. So I recognize suffering in order to release it. Curiosity breeds compassion. Oh, Lord. Mm-hmm. No. No, 4. Okay. So when Kuan Yin is about the deep medicine that comes simply from being willing to bear witness to someone else's pain. To really listen, we have to move from the ego to the soul so that the story we are listening to doesn't become about us or trigger us. This also applies to the moments when we are listening to the story we tell ourselves about who we are. We are often far harsher and less forgiving to ourselves than we would ever be to someone else. Kuan Yin suggests that we listen simply with curiosity. Curiosity allows us to detach from needing to take the suffering of someone we love personally. Curiosity is a door that leads to compassion. It frees us from feeling as though we have to react to what we hear or defend and explain our part in their suffering. We can just perceive the pain that they are in, or we can finally hear our own cries of despair and not seek to judge or justify them. We can just be present to what needs to be heard. Kuan Yin is the powerful energy of giving witness to our own or to someone else's suffering. Often, just as a calm, abiding presence of compassion is all that is needed to transform that suffering into clear light. So a question you can ask yourself is, what pain or suffering can I listen to now with curiosity? Okay. So that makes a lot of sense for all the conversations I've been having with my people. I'm just saying. So, and it's a lot of confirmation for me too, because I've noticed I've been getting wrapped up in it too. A lot of people have been reaching out, I've been helping a lot of people, and I find myself getting wrapped up in the storyline, and it's like, I don't need to, right? I don't need to justify it. I don't need to judge it or criticize it. I just need to hold that space. And that's what holding space is not being involved in it, being more of an observer and not being an active part in it. And just allowing that person that I'm holding space for to feel whatever they need to feel. And we need to start holding that space for ourselves too, right? So, yeah, guys, I hope these messages help you. And make sure y'all hit that like button, share away, and drop me a comment. Let me know how this resonates with you. If any reading, you can email me at whispersofgrace1016@gmail.com. Don't forget, I will be in Cali March 20th, right? Let me double check, because y'all know I'm bad at dates. I don't ever plan this far ahead, guys. I believe it's March 22nd. Love you too. Yes, March 21st and 22nd. So I will be in Burbank, California for that. All the information is down below or on the event on Facebook page. So make sure y'all check that out if you would like to come join us. It'll be super exciting. And I've also, now that I have quite a few of you in here, I know quite a few were interested in either coming to the retreat or taking my class. Now, when I first started all of this, I was already thinking about the retreat before I started thinking about the class, but I feel like the class is needed before the retreat. So I might end up pushing the retreat back a few months so they're not so close together. And that will give me a little more time to actually prepare, especially financially, for that as well. But I will definitely let y'all know when I actually have those dates set. So please don't go make any like definitive plans until I let you know. Okay. But yeah, so with that being said, pretty sure that's everything. I love you guys, and I hope you have a great day. I know I feel a lot better since I've gotten all this out. So thanks for pushing through, Jess. But yeah, so I hope y'all have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see all of you soon. Bye, guys.